Yeah, hello everyone. It's another episode, and on this episode, we are talking about the transfer window, the just concluded January transfer window, how the top teams in the Premier League performed, and what it means for them. So, and on this episode, I have Richard and I have Obazi as my co-host. So, let's hear from you, Richard. How do you think the top 16 performed in this January transfer window?
Oh, okay. It was a fairly quiet window compared to the ones we're normally used to. So, first of all, Liverpool, I think they did well. I don't think they need any addition to their squad because there's a lot of experience there to win the league. Firepower, attack, midfield, defense, and then they are sorted out there. So moving on to City, City did make reinforcements in where it was exactly needed for them. Defense, also getting Mamus, and then the new midfielder that came in for Porto, can't remember his name, Tim Gonzalez, also the Argentine. So that was also needed for them. So I don't think they had any missed opportunities in the market. Those additions are fairly good additions, and that should give them a stronger second part of the season. They will take time for them to get used to how Pep plays also, but surely I think they would. They are already Mamus in the team, like two starts in a row, so that should tell you how well they will do. Then moving over to Arsenal. I know the talk was about getting a striker at this window, but knowing how January transfer window is, who are you going to get that you're not going to pay way over for? And I don't think Arsenal are that team that are going to pay so much for a striker. Not to talk of paying in region of 100 million or so this January transfer window. I don't think that's possible. Though looking at they needed wingers. But also looking at the January transfer window, what opportunities were there for wingers actually? I think we had Inaki Williams. I don't think that was possible to do. Then, though there was this player from, I think, was he, I can't remember the team again. Is he Feyenoord or thereabout? From the Dutch league, Baka Yoko or something. Can't really remember his name, but I think that one was there also. But still, like I said, you have to pay over. Then looking at Chelsea, um, quiet business also. Focused more on outgoings. Players made a lot of requests to leave, which was better. In my opinion, it's always better. If the player does not want to be there, so just let them go and play somewhere else. So there's no use keeping a player that's not happy in your squad. And I think it was good also not buying, going by the strategy Chelsea used of buying young players, not try and buy more, knowing that there were a lot of them that wanted to leave. So I think that was good business for them. Only one I had options about was that we should have called back Ugochukwu, but they had their reservations. And then, but I think it was good business from Chelsea, not buying so much. We wait till the summer and try and reassess our options. Is the squad good enough to compete for top four? Uh, Light in midfield, like I said, unless Lavia suddenly miraculously is able to recover. So let's hope so. But can they keep up? I don't know. I don't know yet. So time will just tell. But hopefully they are able to compete. Arsenal should be fine. I think Saka should be back soon in late February or so. City did well. Liverpool also did well. So that's just my take so far.
Yeah, I think that is fine. And the Bakayoko be by I think it's Bakayoko. That guy, I think he plays for PSV. The team is actually PSV. He was the one. I think he sat two Liverpool defenders before scoring in the Champions League. The one that PSV won 3-2. And I think a lot of people should actually have been on that guy. But we all know the January transfer window. If you go for a player at that is all flashy and flamboyant in the January transfer window, you have to spend very much. I mean, look at Manchester City. They are desperate, and the amount that is splashed on people like Omar Mamouche, Nico Gonzalez and Co. Normally, they will not spend that high on those players, but it's general transfer window. And in my opinion, for Arsenal really messed up because Arsenal we could see reports saying that I think they brought about 60 million or so for Watkins, and it's just funny because if you have 60 million to spend on a 29-year-old then surely that means you can muster up more funds and get a better youngin, or at least go to other teams and get people on loan, because right now they are light in that striking role, because like I always say, Kai Havertz cannot lead you to trophies, and a lot of people will tell you Kai Havertz won Chelsea the UCL, but that was just a lucky goal in my opinion. But I believe that Arsenal are really the one that are really underperformed in the transfer window so far. Then we have Manchester United. Manchester United got that guy Dogu, that one Nigerian brother. That is basically he plays for Denmark, so he cannot play for Nigeria anymore. I think he has played more than he has exceeded the amount of matches he needs to play before he can switch. So I think he has played. So he basically can only be a Denmark national. That's what I'm trying to say. I forgot the number of matches. I think about 3 match or five. I can't remember right now. But I believe that guy would be a good addition to Manchester United. But then it will take a while before they actually know how he actually learns how to play and all that. But that's just my view about the main clause, because come on, Liverpool did not need to bring anybody in. Manchester United, they needed to bring Patrick Dogu in. Arsenal needed to bring somebody in. They brought nobody in. And for me, I believe that would impact them in their season. Chelsea, a lot of people wanted to leave, and that is normal. You can't sign young players and put them on the bench and expect them to be happy. They want to leave. It's just normal thing. It's just the normal way of football business. Because putting young players on the bench and expecting them to be happy there, they would. Considering the fact that from this February to around March or so, there's basically no conference league. There is Chelsea are not in maybe FA Cup, and even the FA Cup, we're going to field the strong team, so it's understandable. Then which other team is there again? Manchester City. I've talked about Manchester City. And I think that's all out for me. But let's hear from Obaze. Obaze, talk about the top teams in the EPL, how they've performed in the transfer window so far, and what you think so far.
Yeah, thanks, OP. I would lean into a lot of things that you guys have already said. I agree that Liverpool did not need to bring anybody in. I think that if they had brought in any player, it would have messed up with the team chemistry. Yeah, as you rightly said about Arsenal, I do not rate Kai Havertz like at all. I don't think he can lead any team to trophies, like you rightly said. They needed to bring in a striker, and they failed to do that. And I think that's the problem that we have, that a lot of us have with Arsenal, because you know where you're lacking in, and you cannot go out and get the player that you need, which is so sad. Because they play really good football, and I think that with a striker they could easily win a trophy or something, but they have not gone and capitalized. Well, I feel like you guys have spoken a lot about the big teams. So I would like to say who I think the silent winners of this January transfer windows were. I would say that Aston Villa has done really good business during this window. I think they're the team that have done the best business, considering the amount of talent that they've brought into the team. Even if they had sold Duran for an amazing amount of money, they're able to bring in Rashford, they're able to bring in Asensio. So I feel like with those talents up front and with what they have currently in the squad, I think they've prepared themselves to finish strongly in the second half of the season. Well, Nottingham Forest, I don't think that they bought anybody or signed anyone. They have a really good squad with really good depth, so they didn't really need to sign. All in all, I think no, considering the way the general transfer market is, where if you really need a player, you have to pay a lot. I think that a lot of the teams did well to not make any signings. And as OP has said about Man City, where they spent more money that they would have, but they needed to bring in those players, because I can understand, because they've struggled so far this season and they've bought players in key positions. But the only problem I have is signing Nico Gonzalez, knowing fully well that when Rodri comes back, he's probably never going to play for the team. I think that was a mistake. I think they should have stuck with their guns on that transfer, because they've spent so much money, and I don't think he's going to play a lot of games after Rodri comes back, because Rodri is like the most important player in that team, and if he's fit, he's going to play. So yeah, basically, I feel like you guys have said like how the transfer window went, but I think the real losers from the transfer window was Arsenal, and like the winners from this window were Aston Villa. So that's really all I have to say about the window.
Yeah, yeah, I think I agree with that. Actually, the losers of this transfer window, this January transfer window, is definitely Arsenal, because all of everybody, it's visible to all of us that or most of us that they need a striker, because you need a striker when you are 0-0, when the match is 0-0. You need that guy that can at least score an header, do something spectacular. That Isak type of player that will just out of nothing create something for you. So I agree with that. That Arsenal are the biggest losers in this transfer window, this January transfer window, and their refusal to bring in a striker would actually affect them. I don't think they would win any trophies, but we would have to see and see how it happens. And what about you, Richard? Who do you think is the biggest losers or are the biggest losers in this January transfer window?
Oof, biggest losers, biggest losers. I think everybody's going for Arsenal, Arsenal, Arsenal too much. For me, I think I would say I'll get towards. I didn't talk about them before. Manchester United. I think looking at how they have done their business also so far, I think they have just four attackers for the rest part of the season. Considering how their coach plays and everything, is that really enough for them? And it's not like these attackers they have are very prolific also. So I feel they also could have made do with the players they had there, like letting Rashford go and some other players go. I don't know how they are going to cope, considering those guys that they have up from when we firing. They went and got Doku, which was also very, very good addition. I feel they could have added probably maybe another attacker that kind of fits the Amorim system better than these guys we have. Because we know that from these four attackers, we have like three of them that don't really fit his style of play. So how do you expect him to survive between now and the end of the season? Because he's under a lot of pressure to deliver points. So I feel they should have gotten at least one attacker for him that suits how he plays, or just that can give them something. I know Arsenal, in terms of challenging for the title, we need somebody, but Arsenal don't really have problems scoring goals. It's just having that clutch man that can get you a goal out of something that they need. In terms of scoring goals, they don't really have a problem scoring goals. I think their biggest problem is the mentality of the football club, that's what's stopping them from winning trophies. Also, it's not really that clutch man. Yes, you do need a clutch man to win you titles at some point in time, which is very important. But then they have no problem scoring goals, which you know from last season and also this season. It's just mentality. I think that's their biggest problem so far this season. If they can get Saka back, they can keep firing on that end. But then Manchester United, in terms of not having those attackers that fit Amorim's system, like I said, three of them are out of there. So I think they've lost on that end. And looking at their position also, come on, nobody wants to see Manchester United finish 12th or 13th or 14th in the table. And with the way it's going, they might end up in a relegation battle. So they would want to obviously push forward, finish top half of the table. So I think they lost in that end also. So that way, I would say Manchester United just edges over Arsenal in that point for me.
Yeah, yeah. I think yes, that's actually true, because but one thing I think they actually almost got this guy from Bayern Munich. What's his name? Matthias Tel. They actually almost got him. This guy Tottenham owner. I've forgotten his name. I don't know why I've forgotten his name right now. He flew to Bayern Munich. He flew to Germany to actually convince the guy. The guy said no initially. Then I don't know what happened. I think he initially he picked Manchester United. There were reports that this guy he wanted to come to Manchester United. But all of a sudden he made a U-turn and decided to go to Tottenham on loan. He ended up going to Tottenham on loan. So I feel like that is a missed opportunity, because come on, Matthias Tel would have actually fit, or I believe he would have suited what's it called, Amorim system, as one of those two insides number 10. I think the left hand side, because if you watch Matthias Tel on at Bayern Munich, is that type of person that is not the type of winger that actually loves to hug the line like Garnacho and whoever else at Manchester United right now. He tends to like wants to cut inside, and that is what would have suited Amorim at Manchester United. And yeah, I think fair enough. We can say Manchester United are a big loser, but me, I'm sticking to Arsenal anyways, because we all know that Manchester United, this ones they are not going to win anything. It's Arsenal that we are all expecting to win something. That's what I'm sticking with Arsenal. Anyway, just to get the final thoughts. Summarize this January transfer window in one word. For me, I would use the word underwhelming. What about you, Obaze? What word would you use to summarize? Just one word to summarize the January transfer window.
Yeah, I would say disgusting. Yeah, because coming into sorry, I'm going to have to put in a few more words because coming into the window coming into January, we all felt that a lot of teams knew where they were lacking and they would probably have to go out and sort of like fix those issues. As Richard has said rightly about United, we all felt like they could have done more, which is true. But that is why I say it was disgusting because like I expected a lot, and the way it ended was underwhelming. Imagine Villa being the biggest winners in the transfer window of this sort of magnitude, where the point margin in the top six, top seven is very low. So it's literally there for the grabs for like any team who wants it more, and everybody has just gone and sat on their hands. It was quite underwhelming. So yeah, I would say it was quite disgusting for me.
What about you, Richard? One word to describe the January transfer window.
Slow is what I'll use because it didn't really get going till the Duran deal put through. Because it was after the money from Saudi from the Duran deal that Aston Villa started spending, making moves in terms of, so slow is what I'll use. Considering the fact, like what Obaze said, that a lot of teams knew where they needed to fill in. Okay, I'm lacking here, I'm lacking here. Let me get this, let me get this. And then in terms of supporting your manager, also like Amorim, United didn't really do that. Then Chelsea also, we knew where was lacking in our team and could have, okay, let's call back this guy, let's make a signing here, let's do that and try and push for this top four that we've missed for a while. So that also sums it up. So it was very slow from teams. I think they were all just trying to be cautious. I don't know why. Maybe because of financial fair play. Who knows? But Villa being the biggest winners in the window was actually quite surprising. We weren't really expecting it. But I'll still say probably if Duran hadn't moved to Saudi, probably they wouldn't have spent so much.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that's right. I think yeah, Aston Villa are actually the winners and the losers are the people. And I think I agree with you guys. But we will now leave the what's it called? We'll give the mic to the audience and let us know in the comment section your own biggest winners in this transfer window, your biggest losers, and using one word describe this January transfer window. And of course, we'll be in the comment section checking it out. Thank you for coming to another episode, and we'll see you on the next one.